it's me, Jay, your GM. I use he, him. And they done.
And it's me, your heir. I use he, him. And this is Jay on Air. : draw steel. And it's an exciting day for us to discuss Draw Steel because we actually started playing it.
Yeah, this is funny because I posted in the MCDM chat the other day. I was like, yeah, we finally started our campaign. It was really exciting. All this great stuff happened. And then Matt Colville, like, reading that, I was like, haven't you guys been playing for like a while? I was like, listen, yes, but no.
You would think from our YouTube output that would be the truth. And you would be wrong in that assumption.
We did a bunch of one-shots for a period of time. We did a bunch of
one-shots.
Right,
yes,
where we were like testing the platform out and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I had to kind of let some campaigns cycle out so that I could cycle in room for more campaigns. So we finally did it. We finally got to session 1. We finally have played session 1 of our ongoing Draw Steel campaign. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Ooh, and it was fucking rad. We had a great first session. We started with a bit of a montage, which is like a skill test to those who maybe aren't talking the Draw Steel.
To be honest, it was kind of a weird montage. I don't know that I necessarily montaged it to the fullest extent, but we did sort of do a quasi montage, yeah.
I mean, at one point my character was hanging upside down by the binds around their hand, trying to use the gallows above their head as leverage to snap the binds, only for another character to walk up with literally a bag full of swords.
Yep.
So that was fun.
It was really good when I had the first check be a perception check to see if anybody would notice the bag of swords, and then they failed that check, and I was like, fuck, I should not have made that a check.
But yeah, it was a great session. We went into combat thereafter, solved that, and then we moved into kind of meeting, I assume who's going to be an important NPC contact for us. Who is both like a theater master, the head of a theater, which I think might be a front for a rebellion. Just a hint, maybe. And yeah, it was great. We had a little role play, a little skill test, a little combat. I mean, a good bit of combat, but Draw Steel's kind of super good at that, so.
Yeah, I wanted to start us on a combat because I felt like that made the most sense for, first of all, familiarizing people with the rules, but also I felt like narratively starting on a big action set piece just feels dramatic and fun. And then we can roll into the sort of talky roleplay bits in the session 2. And then from there, hopefully things can kind of branch out a little based on player direction and player input. And the combat went pretty smoothly. The first round was like 35-40 minutes, and then the second round was like 15. we got better as we went.
Yeah, I think most players were, I think learning their character for the first time, which makes a lot of sense. Like I know some of them have played in those one-shots previously and some haven't. And,
I think honestly what was a bigger deal was Codex. People were just like interfacing with Codex for the first time, and they were, obviously when you're first starting out with a new piece of software, there's a lot of learning curve as they're trying to figure out like, where are my resources? Where do I track HP? Where do I, how do I use this dang thing? And not only that, but also people just stopping to be like, oh, look at this, you can do this. Oh, look at this, you can do that.
Well, that was the great irony of it, right? Like that was it. It was like we're all looking like, how do I track HP? How do I track my heroic resource? And then all like the slow dawning of realization that this platform has really been built ground up for this game, and it's just doing all of that for you was revelatory, because I know like Meadow, who plays in the game with us, has said on numerous occasions that they don't understand why Roll20 like doesn't have more automation for D&D. Why isn't it I'm not like selecting my target and then rolling my attack roll and rolling my damage roll and having it auto apply? Like when we got into Codex and I saw it was doing all those things, like I selected, a signature ability, heroic ability, and it knew its range and it knew how many targets it would, and it let me select those targets and let me do the power roll, let me adjust the power roll. There's this like, hey, you have these conditions, so you have this many Banes, but you have these many, you have this edge here. And then also if someone had like a free trigger that they could use reactively to give me another edge, I could still manually adjust it. The amount of automation was staggering. It's incredible what they got going in the Codex so far. It was immediately the best VTT experience I've ever had.
There's a certain feeling, I like a certain reluctance, I guess I could say, I have towards over automating the game, where I start to worry if, like, it's going to decrease player agency or investment if it over automates. But I mean, when I was in there playing it, I didn't feel that it over automated things. I felt like there was still a good sense of play. You got to click on your tokens and drag them around, which has a very tactile feeling. And then everything has a really nice, like, sound effect accompanying it too. So like when I place my token on a position, there's like a little tippy tappy of the feet moving. When I Yeah, exactly. When I make my attack, I can, there's like a like sound effect of like hitting and smacking, and it has a very visceral feeling. And I think all of that kind of helps it to still feel like I am playing the game. Additionally, there's also like a lot of time for the player to come in and alter the automation. If there is something you missed or is something you wanted to add, that you can always go back and fix that kind of stuff. So, the automation isn't just like sweeping along and you just have to go along with whatever it says. There's moments of choice. Like, so for example, if I hit this character, I go to their main action, I click Wither. Now it's letting me select my target. You can see the big reticules over everybody who's a valid target of this attack. I click them. Now it's showing me the rolls. I have a Bane right now. Which is because I'm doing a range strike with adjacent enemy, and that's marked up on the top, so you can see that. Now, I could say that I have cover if I wanted to, or that the target has cover, and now it's added a second Bane. So I can go back and manually correct anything that maybe the automated system isn't accounting for. Alternatively, I can just override this. I can just say, nope, I have edge, and then it gives me an edge. I click edge times 2, but it gives me an edge time 1 because I still do have range free strike with the adjacent enemy. I can unselect that and then select edge time 2, and now it will actually let me do edge times 2. So you can always go back in and correct anything that is wrong, that you're not liking. And then just select this. You can change visibility of the rolls, and then you just click roll dice. Now it rolls the dice, but even still, it is not necessarily saying like, okay, things are set in stone now, because you have to click accept result. You could go back in and click reroll if there's something that you just realized after you rolled that would have changed the outcome. So even now, there's a chance to go in and correct the automation. And then you click accept result, and look, the damage is automatically applied. However, let's say you did that 7 damage, and then Air has an ability that lets him add 2 additional damage. I can just go up to this damage window over here, press enter, and just apply 2 damage manually. Or if I realize, oh, that 9 damage shouldn't have been applied at all, I can just go into the heal section and put 9 to override the automation. So everywhere you go, there's simple, easy ways to override the automation, which makes me feel a lot better about it being so automated. Because if there are little things that it's not doing correctly, little problems along the way, it's not frustrating to constantly have to go in behind it and fix things. It's really quick and natural and organic, and it just feels really good to play in.
Yeah. I don't know, Jay, if you saw on your end, but before you confirmed that roll, there were these little green exclamation marks that popped up on Igmara and Alika. because we have triggered abilities, the kind of the reactions of draw steel. Because I do have an ability, I can spend heroic resource to like tack on. Right now, it's about 4 damage to an ally's strike, since it happens to be an ally striking me. I could have made them hit me harder.
Yeah.
But those sorts of things are automated as well. So even your
Mhm.
more reactive abilities, it gives you a little warning to say, hey, before this person commits to this, you might be able to give it a little juice or add some extra, kind of ride along effect.
So one of the most impressive things when I first started DMing on this platform is I realized that whenever you move your character, like right now I'm holding a character and moving away, it's giving me flashing red arrows from Igmara and Alexi that they have an attack of opportunity on this person if they move away. And if I move them, I see the reaction button goes up on both of them, where I can now either dismiss the trigger or press opportunity attack. If I press opportunity attack, it will bring up the roll menu. I roll that dice, and then I click accept result, and it just handles the opportunity attack. And all of that can be done by your player basically silently in the background as you're just running through a combat, allowing for a huge efficiency of play.
The thing for me that was so great is when we played our one shots, I played a tactician a couple times. I think my favorite session of those one shots was the last time I played a tactician, because I was really maximize, like the min-maxing comes into the actual round by round of a combat encounter, where you're trying to say, how much resource do I have, what abilities do I have that cost this much resource, what's my best play at this moment. And I was really, leveraging all of my action economy and all of my resource really well. But we were only playing with, I think, like 3 or maybe 4 players. We have a party of 6 here, and I didn't realize how much more complex playing with that number of players, because there's so many free triggered actions. Like an opportunity attack, like you just demonstrated, is a free triggered action. You always get an opportunity attack if an enemy leaves your reach and doesn't use the kind of de facto disengage ability with their move. So I was like, oh, I think I'm missing things. I'm missing, tracking my heroic resource. I'm missing opportunities to use my reactive abilities. And because we were in the Codex and it was giving me those prompts and it was auto tracking a lot of that stuff, it freed up that mental bandwidth for me to think more about the strategy and less about the bookkeeping. And I loved it.
Also, I literally just noticed in the chat log, because I started a combat and everybody has 2 victories, everybody gained 2 resources at the start of combat.
Yeah.
So it just automated
right?
the victories, extra heroic resources. It just does everything you'd expect it to do. There are definitely some things that are still like being worked on, but it's very different than D&D Beyond, where there are things that have been being worked on for 6 years that have never seen any amount of progress and currently have no intention to see any amount of progress. I believe they added like containers on D&D Beyond in 2021, and you still can't add your own custom container. So like very basic functionality. If you copy a bag of holding on D&D Beyond, it loses the container property. So if you try to make your own custom bag of holding for some reason, it can't be a container anymore. Just really basic stuff that is so strange. And here we're seeing, like, we had a technical issue on our first session where one of the complications that a player chose was triggering way too often. And I went to their Discord and I was like, hey, this is a problem that we experienced in our session. Just so you guys know, there's a little bug in your system. Immediately they were like, hey, open a ticket, go to this channel and open a ticket. I was like, well, okay, sure. So I opened a ticket and went to the channel. The person says, okay, give me everything you can tell me about this bug. And I just listed out a short little description. And then they said, okay, did it trigger on this and this circumstance? And I was like, well, I don't really know the specifics, but here's as much as I can give you. And they're like, okay. And then about like literally the next morning, I woke up and I checked my notifications. I had a notification on Discord, and they're like, "Hey, we fixed it. Here's a video of it working, and we'll have it out in the next patch." And I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy. That was like midnight. Like these guys are just always around. I don't even think they should have been doing that at midnight." but it's just really cool to see a team that is so like hyper motivated, hyper competent, hyper dedicated, and like immediately gets on any sort of bug report or feedback and starts. It has the feeling of a like community modding scene, except that these are the official developers. So it's really wild. Not saying that they should work at midnight, by the way. Definitely work-life balance, guys. But I think it's awesome that they were willing to just immediately tackle the bug and get it corrected, and had the fixed video for me the next day. And it just gives me a tremendous amount of confidence if using their platform, because I know, if something really frustrating crops up, I'm very confident that I can take it to them and they will either fix it or explain to me why it's intended behavior very, very rapidly.
I think after, what was Sigil fell through for WotC as kind of their big play in the VTT space, and they're like, fuck it, we'll just keep maps going on D&D Beyond. People seem to like that more because it is a much more straightforward, traditional. I think it's kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if they've ripped, so like they didn't redistribute any development. They're like, well, that thing failed and that was supposed to make us $1 gajillion and it didn't, so we're not going to support the thing you're replacing it with, because like D&D Beyond with the maps tool has an opportunity to be this good. It has not, like, you are completely system specific. You have all of the 5e content in there, so like the data entry part is done. You just have to apply that data to features in the VTT, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were never given the team to make that happen, which is both sad but also not surprising, because really at the end of the day, I almost think of MCDM as the modern day Paizo. Like, Pathfinder was built upon the bones of 3.5, and it was really what would happen if you just extended the design of 3rd or 3.5 edition of D&D outwards. And there is so much 4E in Draw Steel, right? Like the action economy has move minor standard. Like your maneuver is your minor, and there's always good things to do with it. It has power-based classes, like your abilities are all powers, be they magical or martial or whatnot. There's a lot of 4E DNA in here, but the thing they're really seeming to deliver on is what 4E promised, which was also, we're going to give you a next level online platform to play this game. And it's great to see. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I can honestly say I went into the Codex expecting it to be something like Foundry, which is another one of these big popular VTTs that everybody talks about, has so much automation and it's so great and so easy to use. I used it for a couple months. I found that it was extremely difficult to work with, and also it ran very poorly on my players' computers. And I also had major connection issues because it was run through Forge, which is a third-party resource. And so for all those reasons, I just kind of expected this to be another Foundry that was kind of a pain to use. And in reality, it hasn't been that at all. It's been very straightforward to use, very straightforward to implement. The only difficulty I have at all with using this program is the fact that it is I'm on Linux, and so it has to run in a Proton wrapper, which means I have to access the fake file folders that are created by Proton for this game to upload icons and stuff. But that's fine. I just favorited it in my file directory, and now I can get there pretty quickly, and it's all pretty smooth.
Well,
so
that's what you were going on about before we started recording for like 5 or 10 minutes. I thought you were just in some sort of fugue state. Oh, it was Linux. Okay, yeah, I'm a Linux user. You can't distinguish my OS from me having a nervous breakdown.
Hey.
I kid.
Cool.
We all love the penguin. We all love the penguin.
We all love the penguin. And as a true Linux user, I didn't get through my first video since I started using it without mentioning it. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you listening in. I hope that you give Codex a try and Draw Steel a try soon.
Bye.